Hey, everybody, welcome back to another All Things MSP episode. This is a sponsor update. This is where we bring sponsors in or bring their partners in to talk about their experience with the sponsor. And that's what I have today. I actually have a partner of Movebot, Edgar da Silva. He is the Chief Technology Officer and Cloud Expert. And he is going to talk to us today about how Movebot has worked for him. So let me go ahead and bring him up. Hey, Edgar, how you doing?
Good yourself, Eric. How is everything?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much for doing this today.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
So tell me a little bit, first of all, about Edgar da Silva.
For sure, for sure. So, born and raised in Portugal, close to Lisbon, move around Europe, come to Canada, start working with a partner of Google where I stayed for around 6 years and got very comfortable. And at some point, I figured it out. It was time to do my own thing and try my own thing with Google and with the Google platform and Google customers. And so that's me these days. I have a small company, still a little bit of a one-man show, but still fun. I have a lot of customers where I work on the deployment, migrations, and that's where I'm met and been using Movebot.
Okay, so what kind of migrations are you doing the most of?
So it ranges. I've been working with a lot of customers who want to go to Google Workspace, and for that they need to bring their drives, their email. So I've been working with both the platforms of Movebot. I started with the with the migration suite for documentations for Movebot. That was an outstanding product, and now I have been testing as well their email solution.
Okay, and how did you find Movebot in the first place?
Funny story. The reality is out there. There's a lot of options, but they come with a high price tag. When I was doing a little bit of research one evening, I was trying to find the right partner. You know, when you're starting your business, you want to make sure you find a competitive and a solution that gives you, resources to grow and is there to give you that hand. So did some research, end up coming across them, the company in New Zealand. I had customers in New Zealand and Australia, so I thought it was kind of interesting to see what they were offering. And that's how I reach out and I end up meeting, did some trainings and end up meeting them.
Awesome. Yeah, I've met the crew from New Zealand. I think once or twice, as they've been over here for different types of trade shows. Really a great group over at Movebot. I love the people over there, and they've been very helpful in all the things that I've needed from them. So what are some of your favorite things, some of the favorite features about Movebot, especially when you're moving? Let's take files for an example for this one. What's some of your favorite things when you're moving files over with Movebot that help you?
So let's put it like this: Movebot, all the graphical aspect and the display is just outstanding. It's comparing to what's out there; they're just literally a couple steps ahead. Like I don't know who didn't try it, and I would recommend it anyway. But there is a lot of things for the appointment to management, where you can manage the migration points, how much you want to educate in terms of capacity to the Delta migrations. There's so much in Movebot that it makes it just work fine. It just work more than fine. It's just perfect. Like when you're doing these large migrations of data, where it's important that you don't disturb your customer's business, right? And he keeps working as it goes. So being able to just go back and do a Delta migration and just touch on what was moved in the last couple of days or hours, it's just outstanding. And just their interface is mind blowing. It's easy. Anyone can use it. I have to say, any person can jump in and start working with their service and be able to do it. And that's how good it is.
Yeah, I think that's an important point. Number one, with the deltas, right? The deltas are so important in providing your client that you're migrating that continuity of service up until you're ready to do the cutover. Because in the past, when we used to do migrations, we'd have to stop production, migrate all the data, take as long as it takes, and then they could start working on the new system. With Delta migrations, they can continue to work on the old system while you're doing the migration. And then once the big migration is done, you can run those deltas to catch it up and then do the cutover whenever it makes sense for the client to do the cutover.
Correct. Yeah, correct. And even before that, the lack of options, when I heard first Delta was with Movebot, and I was already using some competitors. And I remember there was something that was spoke at the time, oh, we're looking into an option to be able to do it. And when I started working with Movebot, I was just like, okay, they're already there. They already can do it. And I was just blown away. I was like, being able to tell my new customers why I'm competing with the big brands, right? And I'm there telling my customer, I can let you work, you and your colleagues and everyone, all your personnel can do their business as usual. And I will just migrate it at the end once again. And it was a game changer for me. And I was able now to compete with the big resellers from Google and other platforms that had access to more tools and people to manage APIs and API calls and stuff like that. So,
right. And then you mentioned the interface as well. And I've seen demos of the product, and that's one of the things that impresses me because because I used to be an MSP, when I used to do migrations and we were simply copying files from one place to the other, you didn't have a lot of insight into what was going on with the migration. With Movebot, you can just take a look at that screen and know exactly where your migration is. How has that helped you communicate with clients and with the reliability and predictability of maybe how long a migration is going to take?
That's correct. It's exactly that. It was allow me to create ETAs. That was something that was very hard to do before, right? Not only on Drive, but on email migrations. ETAs were always very touchy. You say potentially will be this or that. So be able to see it, allocate more workers into a migration depends of the need of the customer. It was important, right? Also, the reporting that comes with the tool. If if something doesn't go as planned, the tool can tell you what went wrong, what you need to change. So there is so many small things that they will put so much thought into be able to work that way, right? So the interface it's like I said, I'm repeating myself, but it's mind-blowing. It's so many steps ahead.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. And so I imagine that having that type of control and visibility saves you a lot of time when you're doing a migration as well.
Correct. So I can set up the migration. I don't need to be constantly looking at it to see when the error is going to pop up, right? So I can focus on other smaller things in my business, like marketing, or focus on finding new customers. So it was important to just go back to the page, refresh, and see, okay, the migration is still going. Oh, let me get a little bit more details, and you expand the migration and you get those details. I think not only for small people, but for big companies, I think it's very important to have that control, right? So it was very, very, very productive to be able to do that. It was very good. Let's, be honest with it.
That's great. Now, I know that they've added something recently in terms of email migrations. Now you can migrate email from one platform to another. Have you used that?
I did. I was working on migrating a lawyer's company in, I think it was in South Florida. Anyway, close to the end of Florida, and I started using the Google migration tool that Google offers. But the current system was so old, so archaic, there was no options, and I ended up using Movebot for the first time, and I was like, okay, let's give it a go because I don't see other option at this moment. And I ended up using Movebot, and it worked so well. It was flawless. The customer was so happy. The migration didn't take. It was even faster than what I had projected. So even the performance from Drive or the Drive migrations to email migrations was pretty much the same. So it was very, very impressive. And now, instead of using the Google migration tool that they offer directly from the control panel, or the applications that you need to use the Outlook APIs and MAPIs to be able to run on a Windows machine, I just stop it. And I like to work in a Mac. So I was like, okay, this is just the easiest. Browser-based, I get everything. let's just do it from here. And now it's been my go-to tool. So I just use it for all the migrations.
Yeah. And that sounds like, again, it's taking the complexity and the unknowns out of doing a migration and putting them into a tool that allow you to actually manage a migration properly.
That's correct. And not only that, it allows you to manage it correctly, properly, as you mentioned, but at the same time, the help center articles, when you come across a point that you are a little bit in size where to go, it's so well built that even if you need to come crossroads and you do not know where is your next step, you can just explore what they offer in terms of solutions like help center articles or even their support team. So it was good. It was fantastic to being able to do it directly from there. And and once again, let's not even talk about price point, because it was even better.
Well, so you mentioned price, so we are going to talk about it.
Okay.
But really, what I want to talk about is what is, and you don't have to give me hard numbers, but percentages or whatever. How much do you think Movebot saves you in time, money, whatever, when you're doing a migration now?
You know what? It saves a lot on both, right? And I have to say, time is money, and it sounds cliche, but in the reality, it is, right? You try to juggle, you try to do a business, so time is money. You need to move customers fast, but with a higher rate of satisfaction, and to make sure that that snowball effect keeps going and you get more. So time is money, and Movebot does save me a lot of money and time. So in terms of time, it's hard to give a number, as you can imagine, because you start the migration, and the fact that you don't need to constantly look, you keep doing other stuff. So it is, as you can imagine, just that it says how much time you're saving not to check constantly for errors, right? So in terms of percentage money, comparing to what is out there, their price per gigabyte and their price point is so much lower. I remember when I changed from a competitor, I was saving close to 50% what I was spending with them, and the service level and the support level, and it was absolutely not comparable to what I have here.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Edgar, for sharing, what your experience with Movebot has been and some of the advantages and benefits that it's provided to your business and to your clients. So thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. Have a great day.
You too.
And you can find out more about Movebot by going to atmsp.link/Movebot.